Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's been a few days since I did a post. Been busy with some personal projects, so I got to make up for lost time here. We're going to cover the headlines from March 19th through March 22nd. We've had some big headlines in there: presidential announcements, shootings, road rage, storms, and a whole lot more. And we'll begin with the Ted Cruz announcement for presidency. There's a lot of things very curious about it. As well as Rand Paul's announcement, also very curious. It shows you who these people really play for. But before we do that, I want to look at this cover of Time magazine from the 322nd day of the year, November 18th, 2013. It featured Chris Christie, who has a life number of 33. Graduates of Skull and Bones refer to themselves as Bonesmen. This is the elite fraternity of world leaders and politicians. And the gematria of Bonesmen, these graduates from Yale and Skull and Bones who identify themselves as the number 322, Bonesman has a gematria of 33. And we just passed March 22nd, and we got Ted Cruz announcing himself for president. Notice also that Chris Christie, who is on the cover of this magazine, has CC initials. Of course, time is a 47 word. And where we find the colors red and white, we often find this coded gematria. These are the colors of the Knights Templar established in 1119, the original Freemasons. But let's check out this Washington Post commentary on the similarities between Ted Cruz and Obama, because they got a few.
Ted Cruz's presidential announcement speech had me
And let's notice this man's initials, CC.
thinking about another politician, someone not really like Mr. Cruz, and that's Barack Obama. Remember?
His name was also Chris 30, and then his last name summed to 44, summing to 74 total. So again, we have a CC, 33 coding, and 74. This person who's going to host this commentary on the two.
Back to 2004, when Obama gave the Democratic National Convention speech that really started his career in the national spotlight. That speech relied very heavily.
Truth Seeker, that's the day I decided I didn't like Barack Obama. The first day he became shown on the national stage for this speech he's talking about. If you didn't hear Obama's speech at the 2004 Democratic Convention, what he said everybody needed to do was look ahead, not worry about the past, which meant overlooking September 11th, overlooking the Patriot Act, overlooking illegal wars of aggression, overlooking the destruction of the environment for corporate greed. Yeah, let's just ignore all that and look right ahead. And let's not forget that all the telecommunication companies admitting that they were spying and collecting our data. Yeah, let's just ignore all that and look ahead. And that's exactly what we've done. We've just marched on. Here we go.
On Obama's personal biography, he talked about his Kenyan father. He talked about his mother growing up in Kansas. And he talked about how unlikely it was that a guy named Barack Hussein Obama was going to be someone on the national level, a national politician. Let's face it.
Yeah, let's face it. How could Barack Hussein Obama become the name of the president after a purposeful period of time of teaching the nation to hate the name Osama and confusing the name Osama bin Laden with Saddam Hussein and Iraq with 9/11? How could it be? Let's be clear.
My presence on this stage is pretty unlikely. My father was a foreign student, born and raised in a small village in Kenya.
Well, fast forward to Ted Cruz's speech. Cruz spent...
Before we listen to Mr. CC74, let's think about this. There really is a Hawaii in Kenya. Hawaii is the 50th and final state, one of only 3 with a 33 gematria. They're first Delaware, last Hawaii, and 6th Massachusetts. So much coding. The names, the backgrounds, the birthdays, through and through. Even the people dressed up as goobers giving us the phony baloney information. Here we go.
900 words at the front of that address talking about his family, his father in Cuba, his mother, his wife Heidi, all aimed at telling how Ted Cruz came to the point where he could announce that he is running for president at Liberty University.
When my dad came to America in 1957, he could not have imagined what lay in store for him.
All aimed at the same thing that Barack Obama was aiming at. I'm different. I'm not like other politicians. No one else has the story that I have, and that story is sort of fundamentally American, fundamentally about what we believe in America, that anyone with any background, with any parents, with any upbringing can make it. I'm not sure if Ted Cruz was purposely channeling Barack Obama, but he'd do very well to have even a tenth of the success that Obama had with that message.
All right, from 3374, some Ted Cruz Obama connections. Both two-year senators and similar ages. In the case of Ted Cruz, he's currently 44 years old. 44. Barack Hussein Obama is the 44th president. These were the headlines from last night. And notice right here, his tweet says, "I'm running for president, and I hope to earn your support." John Boehner gave a very coded tweet like this, full of gematria, 33 days before the November 4th election for the 114th Congress. The name John Boehner equals 114, just like Orrin Hatch, the two men sitting behind Netanyahu when he came to speak to Congress. And look at the time of his tweet, 9:09, Truth Seeker. 9:09. "I'm running for president" has a Pythagorean gematria of 133, and "I hope to earn your support" also has a Pythagorean gematria of 133. White House sums to 133 in simple English gematria. Interesting. Remember, 3, 2, and 2. A lot of skull and bones end up in the White House. That doesn't mean Ted Cruz is going to go, but it's worth noting. CNN also ran this headline, "I'm running for president," at 133. So check this out. He gave his speech at Liberty University, a school where Jerry Falwell is a major player. Jerry Falwell's megachurch is located in Lynchburg, Virginia as well. Remember, Ted Cruz is 44 years old, just like the school that he gave his speech at. Their motto is "Knowledge Aflame." A curious phrase. Knowledge, a 96 word. They have the mascot Sparky, just like the Sun Devils on the 33rd parallel. Tributes to what God this school likely really worships, probably deceiving many of its students. Look at Jerry Falwell himself. Jerry Falwell was born August 11th, 1933. Jerry Falwell, 1933, August 11th, in Lynchburg, Virginia, which happens to have a gematria of 118. Much like the date August 11th. James Madison was very much fascinated with this number. Microsoft equals this. Just Do It equals this. This is a number of importance. Men with coded gematria all through history. An ongoing Freemason practice. It wasn't just Ted Cruz who made the announcement this weekend. It was his other Tea Party buddy, Rand Paul, son of Ron Paul. Rand Paul, a very interesting name. Before I knew gematria, I thought it was just the weirdest name. Rand Paul. Right now there's a Rand Corporation, a private military corporation. But Rand Paul has a Pythagorean gematria of 33. What else? He is going to start his campaign for President of the United States April 7th. 4-7. The word president has a Pythagorean gematria of 47. What do you know, Truth Seeker? Is it a coincidence? From my very first post, I've been explaining how 33, 47, and 74 are so often coded, and already we're seeing it. And I'm just getting started on this post. And it's falling on the day of March 22nd, the date credited with the first Gutenberg Bible printing, 322, the Bible of 66 books. The word Christian equals 47. Jesus and cross, 74. No coincidence. On this day in the United States, March 22nd, we got the death of Kuan Yew, the man credited with establishing Singapore. In his local time, it was March 23rd, the death. He was born in the year 23. His name gematria is very interesting. Kuan Yew has a gematria of 41, like the word king. With the K exception, it sums to 50, just like Singapore. Interesting. The word America also equals 50. Singapore, in a way, is like a little America. He died on his local time, March 23rd, 2015. This date has a numerology of 41, just like his name. And we're hearing a lot of stories about his importance in the mainstream media right now, a lot of tributes. Most people have probably never heard of this guy before, and never will, unless they've been watching the news the last couple days. But his death seems to fall into this pattern of dying by the numbers. March 22nd, there was a shooting at a Walmart. These are becoming common stories. The gematria of the shooting is very interesting. Cottonwood, Arizona with Pythagorean gematria sums to 84. Arizona with simple English gematria is 84. Cottonwood with simple English gematria is 144. And this number was of much importance at Super Bowl 49 in Arizona this year. Now we're getting shootings by the numbers in Arizona. Walmart has this very curious gematria of 88, like poison and program. And what Walmart shoppers don't realize is that every dollar they spend there is one more dollar that goes towards destroying their community. People think low prices is a good thing, but they don't realize the consequences. They don't realize that Walmart sucks up tax dollars, subsidizing their stores with our own taxes, having their stores built with taxpayer money. That's how their prices are so low. Because their stuff is bought with the taxes that you pay. Cabela, a lot of these big stores exploit it. They didn't give the name, but they did say an officer. And I just want to point out that the gematria of officer is 44 Pythagorean, like the word kill, and 62 like the word Mason with simple English gematria. And we've shown how many connections the police have to the Freemasons. The word police is 33 with Pythagorean gematria. At Quantico, there was a shooting. Supposedly 3 Marines were killed. Of course, Marine, it has the gematria of 33. Marine Corps base Quantico has this gematria of 105, which we've seen coded a lot. April 15th is the 105th day of the year. With the S exceptions, it sums to 123, like the word conspiracy. The man reporting the details is David Maxwell, gematria of 49, another number we see coded very often from September 11th to very many recent stories. With regards to September 11th, Twin Towers sums to 49. It was the 49th governor of New York, Nelson Rockefeller, who had a life number of 33, that approved the towers, proposed by David Rockefeller. Proposed March 11th, fell down September 11th. From February 26, 1993 to September 11th, 2001 was a span of 3,119 days. That is the 93 World Trade Center bombing, the day the movie Falling Down was released. If you haven't seen that movie, it's all about Michael and Robert, 233 names. And think about the name Falling Down, same day as the 93 World Trade Center building bombing. The people running this world are pranksters, and they're laughing at us. And they've been laughing at us for a long time. In this story, it also brought up the shooting of the military base, Marine base in Nevada, where 7 other Marines were supposedly killed. Nevada, the state, has the gematria of 47, bordering Arizona. Truth Seeker, once upon a time, I used to think Democracy Now! Was the most legit news in the United States, and it might still be, but today I realize so many strange things, such as how Goodman, this is Amy Goodman, Goodman's a name with 33 gematria, and what I've noticed that's sad about Democracy Now! Is that in the time of all these fake shootings, they cover them like they're true. Let's watch how they cover this Quantico shooting, which I am almost certain is a hoax.
3 people are dead after a U.S. Marine shot 2 colleagues at a base in Quantico, Virginia, before turning the gun on himself. The shooter was a staff member of the Briggs Officer Candidate School. Neither he nor his victims have been publicly identified. Vice President Joe Biden's continuing to push for an assault weapons ban even after it was dropped by Senate Democrats from a pending gun control package due to a lack of support.
And just like
Biden was
that
joined
gun
Thursday
control
by
news, that's my point, Truth Seeker. So, you know, you can't find a news source out there that doesn't cover the propaganda and legitimize it. Also, March 22nd, 2015, we heard about this story of 7 Jewish children dying. The father's name was Gabriel Sassoon, a name with 84 gematria. Remember the word lawyers 84, United States of America is 84. Obama has an 8-4 birthday. His name was simple English gematria, sums to 156. Just like the word God with English gematria. And his initials GS becomes 7-1, like the word Zeus. And if you look at the address of where it happened at, I mean, just look at this address. It's not just the gematria. It's things like this, 3371. This is where the 7 children supposedly died on March 22nd. If you write out the word 33 in simple English gematria and sum it, it sums to 156. 33 written out sums to 156. Another important number. There was this headline about a fatal road rage incident in Texas. Right away, I just noticed this license plate. Take a peek. Maybe it's a coincidence. You just never know. Before March 22nd, we heard about this story. New Orleans Airport, Louis Armstrong International Airport, machete attack on TSA supposedly. The reporting person was Sheriff Newell Normand, which has a gematria of 113, so often coded, especially in fake shooting hoaxes, attack hoaxes such as this. We keep hearing these stories about people attacking with machetes. It makes you wonder if soon they'll be banning machetes in the United States. We'll be down to dinner forks. An army of armed men and women with dinner forks. Even that could change the world. But yeah, this airport, this attack, full of coded gematria. Hoaxes by the numbers. March 20th, we passed the 12-year anniversary of the Second Iraq War, which came exactly 555 days after September 11th, 2001. Began March 20th, 2003, after George Bush gave 48 hours for Saddam Hussein to step down. Of course, the Pentagon is 5-sided, 5 floors with a 5-acre court in the middle. It sits across from the Washington Monument, the tall, white, skinny obelisk in Washington, D.C. that's 555 feet tall and 5 inches. 111 feet of it are underground, making it 666 feet tall total. The day before that, there was the Bardo Museum shooting of Tunisia. Tunisia has simple English gematria of 93. Bardo Museum, Pythagorean gematria of 42. It said that 19 were killed. Another number that gets coded very often. Oh boy, True Seeker, this was my favorite one though. I think this is the only headline that made me laugh out loud. Supposedly, the Pope got pizza from Don Ernesto's Pizza, right away just from doing this. I know both of those are 33 words. So is pizza. And I thought, you got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. I mean, what's it all about? With regards to earlier posts and observation that I made, I've said the number 52 is very important this year. The word Pope equals 52. And he's going to speak in the United States on September 28th, 2015. That's a date with numerology of 52. 9 plus 28 is 37, plus 15 is 52. So, watch out for the Pope this year. When the Pope comes to the United States, it could get interesting. And notice the owner of this pizzeria has EC initials, or 53, another number of much importance. 52, 53. So here we go. A video shows Casciali, co-owner of Pizzeria Don Ernesto, hopping a barrier with the pie in hand as the Poper mobile approaches. Of course, the name Ernesto comes from Ernesto Miranda, the story of Miranda rights. Both 33 names, Ernesto and Miranda, comes from Phoenix, Arizona on the 33rd parallel and a date with 33 numerology. Again, the word police equals 33. Their giveaway is this gematria truth seeker, constantly coding their numbers in their stories. Also big in this time has been sports. March Madness is going on right now. If you just read the headlines, the numerology is abound. I mean, look at this picture. 44, 41, 2. Numbers I've been talking about a lot in sports here this year, especially 44. And here it is on Kentucky. After 48 pretty incredible games of college basketball over a span of 84 hours. I mean, Sweet 16. 16 and 90 are the only two numbers when you write them out that have a gematria of 33. In the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks on the 33rd parallel are struggling. They lost on March 22nd to the Spurs, a team decked out with gematria and NBA championships. They lost in curious fashion by a score of 114 to 95, losing by 19. The Spurs earned their 44th win, and the Hawks remained at 53 wins, where they've been stuck on their losing streak. Wins and losses by the numbers. Also on this day, I don't know if it debuted on March 22nd, but I'd never seen this commercial before. There's this commercial for Allstate Insurance, guys being barbecued alive in the truck, then it explodes. And what's really weird is in this commercial right here, the time on this clock is 2:35. But every time I saw this commercial on March 22nd, the time was 1:43. The temperature was always 46 degrees though. You know, these aren't things people normally look for, but because I pay attention to these things now, I make these curious observations. Why go from 1:43 to 2:35? What I do notice is that that's 52 minutes later. A number that I said to watch from after the Super Bowl, 52. So, is there something there? We will see. Another commercial I saw, this player wearing 64, the reverse of 46 like we just talked about in the last commercial, with the name Hall. And Hall has the gematria of 33, simple English. 33, Hall. GMC commercial, General Motor Company. Company is one of those 33 words. Showing you who probably first thought up the idea. On this date, there was this big upset. Wichita defeated Kansas, battle of the Kansas teams. Prior to Wichita State winning, ESPN put up this. Look at this. 34 years later. What I'll have you know, Truth Seeker, is that March 22nd, 2015 was the 34-year anniversary of the Georgia Guidestones. If I can type. March 22nd, 2015, the 34-year anniversary of the Georgia Guidestones. On this date, Wichita State knocked off Kansas again. And look at what they had in the background. They have a guy wearing the number 33 and another guy right here wearing the number 44. How can it be? With a score of 66 to 65? The people who continue to troll my blog and tell me I'm have mental illness for documenting this and I'm wrong, it's frustrating because I think some of these people might be sincere. I have these own type of people in my family, you know? But I think if you're really paying attention, this information is undeniable. As for March Madness this year, it's the 77th year of the tournament. The championship game will be on April 6th. That's the 96th day of the year. Every year they do this thing where it's down to one person in the world with a perfect bracket. His bracket's been busted since. And this user pointed out, who also has a great video channel, that the gematria of his name is 114. So anyway, 77th year of the tournament. Championship date on April 6th, the 96th day of the year. The word Freemason equals 96. Who do you think's running the show, Truth Seeker? We got this new update about September 11th. There's still 1,113 people missing from 9/11. And this is from 7,703 samples of human remains that cannot be identified. And, you know, True Seeker, now that I'm really paying attention and I know gematria, I noticed every time they release the name of a new victim from September 11th, their name has 33 gematria. And it makes me wonder why they have to do this. Why do they have to manufacture false victims? There's a website called cluesforum.com. They have something that they call VicSims, and they show how they generate these false people for these hoaxes. But they don't do gematria. In fact, they shun my gematria there, which is sad. But despite the fact that they shun gematria at Clues Forum, they still have some good information there that's worth checking out. And I just want to point out also that this name Matthew David Yarnell has the gematria of 82. Another number they like very much. 82. Matthew David Yarnell, 27, 22, 33. All numbers of importance. Another 9/11 victim identified 14 years later. What do you know? Also, some more provoking headlines for the weekend. They said a black man was hanged in Mississippi. Sounds like something out of the past. The KKK. What is the KKK? The 11, the 11, the 11. What is 11 plus 11 plus 11? The 33. Yes. Just like police. Just like police. Just like Freemasons. 54-year-old Otis Bird. When I think 54, I think sun. Sun is a word with gematria 54, which has a numerology of 9 because 5 plus 4 is 9. So 54-year-old Otis Bird, which has a gematria of 40 and 49, 18 and 27, depending on if you use the S exception or not. And with simple English gematria, his name sums to 112. So notice the name Otis Bird has a Pythagorean gematria of 49, and the name Bird itself has a gematria of 49. Seeing that number coded much. You know, earlier in the year and last year, I thought 49 might be a major clue for Super Bowl 49, but the riddle's still ongoing. So we're just going to keep looking at it and trying to piece it together. But there is a reason they continue to code this 49. Revelation equals 49. Perhaps the elite, the rulers of this sick world, are playing out Revelation in their own retelling and coding it all along the way. It's a possibility. But yeah, this Otis Bird, they noticed the use of the direction southwest. Southwest sums to 33. With the S exception, it sums to 51, like conspiracy. Claiborne County, CC, 33. FBI established March 22nd, once upon a time. It never ends, Truth Seeker. The coding gives away the hoax. Also, just for a little sports production, close this thing out. Kentucky ruined Wichita State's perfect season last year. Wichita State might end up playing Kentucky this year in the tournament. They'll have a chance to ruin their perfect season. We'll see what happens. But that pretty much covers all the headlines we've seen the last few days. Keep an eye on Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, and the rest of the political hopefuls as the dates and events unfold. April 4th, April 7th, those should be some very curious dates ahead. March 29th is also interesting because that's another way to code 311. And tomorrow's date, 3/24/15, that has a gematria of 42. We'll see what it brings. In the past, this has been the date of White House fence jumpings and Obama assassination hoax plots. All right, be safe. Until next time.